and we mess around.
As long as it's okay with Doc.
He doesn't care.
I don't care.
Not my circus.
Not the circus, not the monkeys, right? Yeah, so for Dr. P's marketing and research class, give you all a quick lowdown here. He's kind of got to pick groups at the beginning of the semester, and he had a list of clients we could pick from. And our client we picked was the Ducks Unlimited, kind of Sioux Center specifically. So, and over the course of the semester, we got to do a little secondhand research, and then we meet with our clients. We met with the Ducks Unlimited president of Sioux Center, Jeremy Gasink. Met with him about a month ago. He kind of gave us some information, some background information on Ducks Unlimited, Sioux Center, and then kind of told us his goal, like what he wants us to essentially research and gather some data on, which is how to increase turnout at their banquet. So we came up with a list of what we got here.
Their banquet is their big money-making thing every year, so they want to get as many people there as they can.
I think
and
we
so
better take notes.
that's what they want us to figure out is how can we get
How you market.
Yeah, basically.
how can
So
we
we got-
maximize what's
so
the
we got
best way to reach people and convince them to come to the banquet every year.
So I think we've got 7-8 questions here. Kind of do a roundtable discussion. Just kind of shoot what you guys think. Feel free to interject, or if you got a question, just kind of free game. So kind of our first question here is, who of you is a Ducks Unlimited member that you know of? Yeah, 2 of you?
Two.
Okay. How long have you guys been members?
I'd say 5 years.
20 years.
Okay. So quite a while. And then you joined pretty much right when you started?
Used to be way back when, but
Okay. Is there a reason that you just...
just got tired of going to all the banquets.
Okay, yeah.
There's too many of them.
Because there's a chapter in Rock Valley, correct?
Yeah.
And that's the one. Are you a part of the Rock Valley one?
Yeah.
Are you
as well,
here at
Jacob?
Sioux Center, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, how many is it?
Well,
I think
Ducks Unlimited, Pheasants Forever, Sportsman's Club,
is it Turkey Federation in
Turkey
Sioux Center?
Federation.
Yeah.
Then you can go to the
That's
Elk
kind of-
Sioux, then you go Sioux County Sportsman.
Sportsman. Then you got Elk, or there's an Elk outfit out there too that you can go to.
There's a Delta close by,
Waterfowl.
Delta Water.
So if you wanted to, if you were a sportsman, you could go to a
All
dozen
kinds of-
banquets a year. You could go to one a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we have our gun club banquet,
Yep.
so
So, yeah.
Are all of you gun club member?
yep.
Yeah.
I am not.
Okay.
The problem with banquets is I spend too much money.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to do.
You always got guns there. You can't go home without a gun.
Hey, that's right. You got to buy more tickets, right?
You know, there's one thing about a banquet. You can put a $400 gun as a prize, which is an entry-level gun,
Mhm.
or you could have a $400, just say DeWalt toolkit, which is worth tons more with the gun, for whatever reason.
So just the appeal. That's
Yeah.
right. That's all. That's
Just
100%.
something about winning a gun.
Yeah. So if either of you two or any of you have any out of the last 5 years, have you been to any Ducks Unlimited banquets?
I have not in the
I
last
didn't go this
5.
year to any of them, but last year I went to
Okay.
EU and I went to Turkey Federation,
Okay.
Sportsman's banquet here.
You said this year they had the
Doesn't
Ducks
spread.
Unlimited the same night as the Turkey Federation.
Yeah.
Well, that was dumb.
Yeah, but everything was so screwed up this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of competition for
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
that
didn't,
doesn't
I didn't know
surprise
about
me.
all the competition that they have around
Mhm.
here. There's a
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition.
so then
Right.
like, is there a reason that you choose to go to, like, the Ducks Unlimited banquet over like a Turkey Federation banquet or a Pheasants Forever banquet or something like that?
I would say one of the biggest appeals, like the Sioux County Sportsman one is so big because it's, some of the DU banquets aren't all ages.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like, if dads are going to take their kids,
Mhm.
the Sioux County Sportsman banquet is always a big appeal.
Mm-hmm.
For
The thing
them.
that hurts,
Go ahead.
the thing that hurts the DU banquets is their money doesn't stay here.
And that's one thing he touched on, because I know it all goes basically to corporate, and corporate divvies it up.
They, we spend a couple $100 or $500 at a banquet, and the money goes to,
Once every 20 years, they'll do a project
Yeah.
Northwest Iowa.
Yeah.
Yep.
and the closest it's gonna get around here is the lakes.
Yeah.
So they won't do any work essentially in the fields. They won't.
No,
I'm not sure what they could do in the
Well,
fields
they
per
did
se.
build a bunch of wood duck nests, and they handed
yeah,
them out.
yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
That's
gave
about
them
the
out.
extent.
That's about it.
But I know.
Was that spent with DU money though, or was that
I think so.
Sioux County sportsmen?
We
Or
got it from the EU president,
Yeah.
Rock Valley.
okay,
I don't
See,
know.
also, I think a lot of it is that we don't have the habitat around here like we used to have
for ducks?
For ducks.
for ducks and stuff like that. I mean, see, there used to be a lot more little ponds here or creeks that meandered instead of straight through and,
The last year when we had a lot of water,
yeah.
we
Yeah,
had
well,
ducks.
Yeah.
what a difference that made.
Yeah.
in the spring you mean?
No, last fall.
Last
Last
fall.
fall.
Everything was full of water last.
Yep.
We had rain all summer long, and everything was.
For
full.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, 2 years in a row.
There was ducks everywhere.
Ditches and pond, everything was full. There was ducks all over.
Yep.
This year, this the opposite.
Now we got the geese. Got to thin them off.
Yeah, it seemed like the geese took over.
He's doing his part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around here though.
So kind of going off that, Gary's kind of the only one who's been to the Ducks Unlimited banquet, but you guys can all talk about this too. So when you go to a banquet, whether it be the Gun Club or the Sportsmen or Ducks Unlimited, what at those banquets do they do well and is like an appeal for you to go back year after year?
They really do food well. All the banquets do. I
Yeah,
think.
that's-
I mean,
That's it, yeah.
One thing about like the sportsman's banquet, Sioux County Sportsman's Banquet, that money stays in the county.
Yep.
And they do spread that out a little bit. They're buying up quite a bit of land, public hunting areas and stuff like that. And so that is a big difference, and they don't answer to Ducks
The
Unlimited.
president is here in Sioux County.
That's right.
Pheasants Forever is pretty good at that. They'll
Yeah.
do this around here.
So would you say Pheasants Forever is more local? Does a better job of
Yeah.
keeping money local
Yeah.
than Ducks Unlimited?
Yep. They
And
do.
so that's a big attraction for you guys. I'm hearing is that if the money stays local,
Yep.
you're more
Yeah.
likely.
So
Like you don't mind supporting the cause.
Nope.
But it's the fact that the cause doesn't stay here. It
Right.
goes down to like the wetlands or whatever down in Florida or
right.
wherever they need like conservation help or something.
Well, then even like Ken said, we have a lot of geese around here right now. Well, I have land that I can hunt. One thing that makes it really tough is like when you go up into South Dakota, in northern South Dakota, they pay farmers to make their fields like walking areas or make them driving areas. Well, those farmers aren't even using their fields right now. So why not offer them money to make their fields public hunting areas? You go up to the lakes and there's not even public hunting fields. So I mean, I don't even like hunting up by the lakes anymore. I don't go up there
Well,
because
we used to do the same thing, but we used to hunt a lot down by Dakota Refuge,
Yeah.
Forney's, and stuff like that, and we got to know the farmers down there, and you'd see a flock of geese go out there and land in the field. You go up to them, can we go hunt them geese? Kill them all.
yeah,
Now you pay me $1,000 so
Yeah.
you can go hunt.
right,
And
the market for it.
not only that, but now the flyway has changed.
right.
Yep.
The flyway, this used to be this snow blue goose flyway. Now it's moved to South Dakota because they got all the water.
Back in the 80s when the farmers started tiling the fields,
That's when a lot of it
that's-
disappeared.
That's when the water disappeared, and then they straightened out all the waterways. You don't have meandering waterways anymore.
But then we never saw a Canadian goose around this area.
No. No.
If we did see one,
That
it was
yeah.
news around town. It was
The
talking
Canadian
about.
goose flyway always was up in
Lakes.
the lakes area, Dickinson
Yeah.
County, straight through to Minnesota to.
But one thing that changed the goose population is all the golf courses that kept open water
Mhm.
throughout the year. That changed a lot of the goose population.
And once they started multiplying,
Yeah, once they got going,
So what I'm
there
hearing.
are some people that have private ponds that won't let you shoot these things.
Yep. I know one of them guys too. He's
So-
an asshole.
So what I'm hearing so far is most of the banquets do food well, and like Sioux County Sportsmen and Pheasants Forever keep their money local. Is there anything else? Kind of the last quick thing on this question: is there anything else that any banquets here locally do really well?
They're all pretty well run.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
they're pretty
And
well
you
thought
have
out.
to, because
Yep.
if you don't,
So much
Nobody's gonna
competition.
come.
There's
Yep.
yeah.
Nobody's gonna come.
competition, but if somebody thinks you're cheating, boy, that just,
Yeah, right now.
right now,
Dude.
they're on you. Or
Mhm.
if they think that you're pulling a prank or
Doing
favoring,
stuff, yeah,
favoring something, you know,
doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing.
Do they make it? I'm not a hunter or anything like that, so I've never been to a banquet. But like, do they make it clear where the money is gonna go,
No.
or do you
No,
just
no.
kind of say like the money?
DU doesn't.
No,
DU doesn't.
DU
but,
doesn't.
But
But
Sioux
everyone
County
knows
Sportsmen, would they say this is our budget for this year? Will they go into detail at the banquet?
Yes, no,
If they got the details,
you get a newsletter.
yeah.
Okay.
You get a newsletter every quarter from them.
What they're
stuff
doing.
Like that. Looking at what particles. of land
Projects.
they're
This we
looking at.
spent this much money here
Yeah.
versus DU. You just see their corporate budget. You
Yeah.
don't see nothing. Right?
But like at the Rock Valley Gun Club, you usually make that well known.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pheasants Forever
What
does
project
too.
we're
They
working on for the year.
tell you what
Okay. So
projects they're working
So that,
on.
that kind of leads into our next question. Our next question says, what does a banquet need to improve on? And then maybe some of the things that other banquets do is show where their money's going.
Yep.
If DU's money isn't exactly staying local, but even if they said, all right, our money today is going to a project that they're doing in South Dakota, would that be any inclination you think? Even if the transparency was there where you knew it was going, even if it
It
wasn't,
would help.
it would help.
It would help.
It would
I would
help.
say, I think Casink should dig into that and say, okay, before you have your banquet, I want from corporate headquarters, what money is going where?
Yep.
Even if
Yeah.
it's not staying local, your members still need to know that, correct?
Like
Right.
like 15% of the proceeds today are gonna go to.
Land acquisition. Or
Yeah, you know, like
Sowing
like just
wild
saying,
rice. Whatever.
Yeah.
But even just something like that could be more enticing.
Yep.
Okay.
But DU is a little bit different because they're dealing with migratory birds. So
Mhm.
what they spend up north or south, you know, that does reflect in this area. Then.
Absolutely, because ducks aren't here for months at a
Yeah.
time. That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta have habitat from around when they're flying through, that you gotta have that.
Yeah, mainly water.
You know, years ago, there was a group of guys that fed ducks in our little Winterfield pit. They fed them year round. They kept the water open year round.
Okay.
It was unreal. The ducks that stayed there
Yeah.
year round.
We
all
had
year.
ducks all
Oh,
the
so-
time.
It was
Water
just
they won't
crazy.
Then they shut the aerator off in that pond there and
That was it.
that was
Well,
it.
that.
Well, they quit feeding them.
Yeah,
that was the biggest thing.
Willie Yunker.
They still run that aerator,
Yeah,
but there's no ducks in that open water.
occasionally a flock will come through, but very seldom.
Yeah.
But that was a local flock, they just stayed,
Yeah.
I don't know where they went to after they left the,
But not only that, but
Winfield.
then you get like me, I get old enough and I don't like getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning no more. Sit out in blindness. Spent the decoys out.
Yeah. So, other things that DU specifically now can improve on their banquet or their strategy as far
I
as
don't think their marketing is very good, to be honest.
okay.
Like just in general.
Have you ever seen like an advertisement
Yeah,
or
no, it's
anything
not
like
a local.
You haven't?
thing. There's a
No.
local,
Okay.
local.
It's
Right,
interesting.
that's what I mean. I don't even hear about
The headquarters isn't local, is it?
No. But you don't
No,
even
they-
hear about you gotta really dig in to
Yeah.
find
Well-
out when the local banquet is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not just on the radio
Yeah.
or.
Right.
Right here.
It's not put out there at
It's
all.
almost like it's a secret.
Yeah.
That's interesting because Jeremy he thought that they did a good job marketing, just their board did.
Well, maybe.
So kind of playing on that, if you were to hear about DU banquet, where would you want to hear it, or where would you
Where
see
do
it?
you normally
Radio
see
and social media.
Yeah. So use social media, but versus
So
Facebook?
That's
You guys all have
interesting, too,
Facebook?
because
you do?
we
Okay.
because we
What's that?
Yet.
Yeah. For
some
now,
of the,
right?
some of the first
Water-
research that we
Water's starting to look pretty good.
that we did. Some of the first research that we did was looking them up on social media, and like their most recent post, like
Sioux
the
Center,
Northwest Iowa chapter's most recent post was like from 2
2000.
years.
2017.
Yeah, see that's
Yeah.
my point. Like
It's
you-
like they're like non-existent on there. So
Yeah.
like,
Huh.
do you you guys do you use Facebook regularly? Like, would you like the Northwest
Not
Iowa
you.
page?
So where would you hear them? If you
Radio.
hear radio, so you hear
radio is
radio.
huge for everyone though, because as you're working, the radio's on everywhere.
So where would you? We'll go
Yeah.
down the line here. If you were to hear it, where like you'd be radio.
Yeah.
I'd probably see it quickest on Facebook.
Facebook,
Mhm.
probably
Facebook,
Facebook.
radio.
Facebook.
Yeah, or somebody in person.
Yeah, that's another
Word-
thing. Word of
word of
mouth,
mouth.
absolutely.
See, at the gun club where we're at, like the Rock Valley Club has got quite a few members at our gun club, and then if they're in a banquet, then they
Put a poster
put a
up.
poster up or a word of mouth at the gun club, but that's just the Rock Valley chapter.
Yeah,
No, but that's insightful for sure.
that is interesting. where or like where was I going with this? What radio stations like are the best? Like we had KDCR on here, but they're not like a
Yeah.
they're like a donor based radio station. So
KSOU,
KSOU,
Yeah, that's a
and
big one.
the FM, KIN,
KIHK,
Yeah.
570
570,
WNAX.
Sled Laverne station.
Yeah.
101.
and do you hear like does Ducks Unlimited ever put ads out on the radio?
Interesting.
I've never heard
You've
one.
like never
Okay.
heard a radio ad from
I've
DU.
never heard one.
And what,
That
another
would be
thing
4
that,
years before I knew that there was even a Ducks Unlimited. That's because my neighbor was going to go to it, and he said, "Do you go to the banquet tonight?" And what banquet?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's the first time I heard.
Interesting. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like it's
that's-
kept a
If you hear
secret.
about it, it's almost too late. to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, that's
another
Yeah, it
thing
was the
that
day
could,
of.
what Gasink should do is get on like KSOU's talk radio and just
Right.
have a
Do an interview.
Yeah.
interview.
Okay.
do like a quick 3-minute soundbite or something
That's
like that.
free too. Then
Yeah.
You don't have to
Yeah.
pay for that.
You can record that and put that on Facebook then. So then for
Yeah.
those of you on Facebook who don't hear it on the radio,
Yeah.
you
Right
click
there.
on that 3-minute quick insight, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Give you a link to sign up or something
John
like that.
Swigers has, I think it's John.
Yeah,
He has interviews, different individuals, different times.
Heck, you can do the interview.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Zach's on the
I
radio.
work at the KDCR radio station. So.
Yeah, no, Casey, or what's the Sioux Center station again?
KSOU.
They have like the daily grind or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, see, a lot of people, you hear that on job sites and
Mm-hmm.
at work all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
it blows my mind that they don't have more advertising on the radio and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. P, do you know is that relatively cheap for them to run a segment commercial for whatever it is, 30 seconds?
I don't know what they get for them at KSOU.
You don't. Okay.
KDCR is dirt cheap.
That
Well,
is-
KDCR,
They're non-commercial.
you have to
so
be
you
like-
sponsored.
you have to
This
be like a
hours.
you have to be a donor or a sponsor or something.
I don't
It's
think
like
KDCR
$500
would do
bucks.
it.
No. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking if that would be within their marketing, their budget essentially to run a ton of radio ads or. But yeah, the interview that'd be free. So
It
that'd be-
wouldn't fall under like common knowledge or something like that, where it would just be put out,
So more of a news release or a
Yeah.
public service
public
announcement.
service announcement or something
Yeah.
like that.
So
Yeah, that could be too.
Well, you could put it on the cable channels. That's all free too, isn't it?
No, not
No idea.
not on like the local channels. You mean?
No.
Yeah.
Well, they just have just where the announcements.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I know where you're talking. Yep.
Yeah. Like
trying
the
to-
churches use it a lot.
Yeah.
For-
Oh yeah, like just put it out on like the local church, like even on the church bulletin board
Church
or
bulletin,
something
yeah.
like that.
But yeah, there's
It just flashes announcements and there's church in the background a lot
yeah,
of
they
time.
keep rotating
Yeah.
announcements all the time.
Make a slide, the
Yeah.
date,
What's,
time.
what's the audio on that? Isn't that KSOU? Because I know my parents have that on sometimes. I'll go there and it's just the announcements rolling through or something.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
So okay, that's really interesting. To
Just
hear
getting
that
it out there
advertising.
more. I don't
Yeah.
care how they get it out there, but it's got to get out there.
Yeah,
You don't need to hear it, just like Tom said. You don't need to hear it from your buddy across the street the
The
day
day
of.
before, because that might be too late.
Usually
Then.
by
Yeah.
that time you got other plans made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know, like Pheasants Forever, if I don't have my ticket stuff in mail by a certain day, I get a phone call from an individual every year. Where's it staying? I need that money.
And the newspaper doesn't count.
No.
Ducks
Yeah.
Unlimited does that, they'll send me a letter, if you go to the banquet, at least in Rock Valley, they'll send a letter to you next year.
They do.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I think the Sioux Center does that too.
they probably
But
do
you
that.
but you said you essentially their secretary or their bookkeeper will say, hey, usually you have a check-in
It's one of the board members.
Okay.
And I know real well, and
Okay.
he likes to harass.
Is that just because he knows you?
Well,
Or if I were to donate, would
I
he
think
call
he-
me the next year?
Yeah, he probably would,
Would he?
because usually I try.
Especially if you leave them a check for $300, $400, $500.
Oh,
Then they really want you.
Money talks, right? Money talks, that's for sure.
But that is always a struggle to get the word out, even like the Rock Valley Gun Club with different functions. It's tough to get that word out.
Buy thermometers at,
Especially with their John Deere.
oh,
Yeah,
mine was,
Like, if you go advertise on the radio, all your profit's gone right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we should look into how expensive that is too.
That's the problem too. Is like
I mean,
you got to make sure it's cost effective.
Yeah.
But nowadays, if you have a good enough marketing strategy on social media, which
Right.
is free,
Yeah.
that goes such a
Because
long way.
if one of you
So-
were to hear it on social media, if you were to see the Ducks Unlimited post, would that be something you'd maybe share?
Yeah, I would.
Like with
Oh.
is it
Yeah.
Dennis?
So and
Dennis,
even,
right?
even like five out of six of you got like you're the only one who really said you don't check Facebook that often.
And one of them
So-
would be likely. Would you likely tell Dennis?
So
Do invite
Hey,
him or
did you
something
see
that. I
that
mean-
next week they got?
if
at the gun
5 out of
club.
6 people are seeing advertisements on social media, like that's clearly an effective way to get the method across. But they haven't posted on their social media in 3+ years.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And the other thing, if you wanna put it on Facebook and expand it, it don't cost you much.
No.
No.
right,
They're
right.
Absolutely free.
You'll go all over.
Well, I mean, you could just press the promote button and you can
Yeah.
choose like how many new impressions you want. I know I can know a little bit about
That's
how
outside
Way
Facebook.
above
Yeah.
mine.
I know a little bit about how Facebook's like pricing and stuff works.
If you ever want a page, he'll set you up for it. He'll set you up. Get you connected. Get all those fake friends, as my dad says on Facebook.
So that's even
Yeah,
something
you're
you
on
can think
Facebook
about.
quite a bit, yeah, I see a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
you're on
Usually
all the time.
first thing in the morning and
Yeah,
maybe at night.
I see a lot of Trump stuff on Facebook.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So, Gary, you've been to the Ducks Unlimited Bank recently. Did they do anything different than say the Gun Club, or is there anything unique there at all?
Not really, you know.
Just another banquet.
They might have something one time that, but by the time they do what everybody else does, so it's nothing unique.
Okay. So is that a pretty common theme?
That's
Let's
a
say
general-
somebody does something new, 2 years later, everybody's
Everybody
doing it.
else is doing
Everybody
it.
says, "Oh, that worked for them. We're gonna
Yeah.
do that."
Oh, yeah.
But every banquet's got that one main gun that
Absolutely.
everybody gets to try to buy a chance.
And is that the biggest attraction?
That's the-
arguably.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why
They
you
sell a
go.
pocket knife for a chance at it, or a cap for a chance at it, and that might bring $300 per.
So
for a
let's say DU this year. Let's say they had a shotgun. Shotgun's the grand prize. Let's say the next year, because they get a lot of bonuses for attendance. Let's say the next year, then they had 3. If you saw that on Facebook, if you saw last year we had 1 grand prize shotgun. This year we have 3. Would that be like an appeal? Like, oh, I'll spend $50 on the raffle.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
if I don't go to the banquet, I'll spend $50.
If
or
there's
whatever.
If they're good quality guns, yeah,
Okay.
that makes a huge difference.
Would you be more likely to attend?
Yep.
Or you would? You'd spend a night? Okay.
Draws.
Buy it too.
You know.
Yep. So, speaking on that, the raffles, the $50 and $100 are what they sell. The ones in the Ducks Unlimited Sioux Center is basically $50 raffle package, $100. Is there which one are you more inclined to buy? Are you going to spend $50 to get a little shot, or are you going to spend $100 to get over
But
twice
Here's
as...
the thing on those packages,
Okay?
you make it a good deal for the person buying it.
Yep.
You know, you might get $150 worth of tickets for $100 and say, but the problem is, in today's society, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I'll wait until that night cheap, I'm gonna go there, or if something else comes up, I'm gonna go there. We got too much other entertainment that we can entertain ourselves
A
with.
lot of competition.
Yeah, that stuff really don't work anymore. It's
You mean
just
selling in advance?
selling in advance for a better deal.
Okay. Okay, but even like, let's say the night of, are you more inclined, you're at the banquet, you just walked in, are you more inclined to buy the $50 raffle package or $100 raffle package?
Oh,
Yeah.
So that extra $50, that's not a make or break situation there.
It might be for some people that are younger that, you know.
Like a dad who's paying for
raising-
3 other kids
raising
there.
a family and making house payments and stuff, that might make it, that'd be a difference for.
But usually when you're there, once you're there,
Yeah, Jake don't care, right? Yeah.
Get them in the door,
Yeah, exactly. If you get them in the door, they're spending money regardless, right?
but the trick is to get them in the door. And then what's hard to do is just to plan for a meal, how many meals we have to plan for.
And do you say, do you help plan the Rock Valley DU banquet or the
No,
gun
the gun club.
gun club? So you guys have to plan on that meal too.
Yep.
So how do you deal with that walk-in? Because Jeremy mentioned that as an issue. He says we have 80 RSVPs. We usually have 20 walk-ins. So is it you just go on that from previous years? Like, how do you plan? How do you plan?
for that?
How do you plan for how many people show up the night
The
of?
history of what you had
Yeah,
last
before.
year before.
Have you ever been off, like ran out of food? Is that not an
No,
issue?
we usually have enough food that,
that's usually not a problem,
yeah,
guys.
you don't wanna run out of food.
You run out of food, you just made it. You
Absolutely,
just-
yep.
Yeah. You're
Guess what? Next year we ain't coming back.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
You
Yeah.
just ruined your banquet if you run out of food.
You spend the extra couple $1,000
Yeah.
to make sure you have enough food.
Yeah.
And seeing there again, like, we have our gun club, guy that owns the Cedar Rock treats us very well, and stuff like that, and that, we got some good local vendors that help us out immensely.
So like from Rock Valley Gun Club, or
And we can only hold so many people too, so we kinda know, you know.
have you ever had to turn away someone, or
We haven't yet, but
The first year we did, the very first year we did, 2014 was the first time we did it for a gun club. And our tickets sold, I mean, they were gone.
is the Gun Club new, or was that just your first
no,
banquet?
it's, gun club's been
We
there
had to
for.
do something different because we were lacking in
Running out of money.
Running out of
Oh,
The stuff, the
This
equipment,
really just boomed.
the equipment wearing out, we didn't have any money to replace it with.
and you do an annual one now, and that's the perfect.
Except for this year, that was all screwed
Yeah,
up.
this year COVID took care of the banquet.
But yeah, we've done how many projects now?
Oh,
From
A lot.
the
From
back-
banquet money.
trap houses and the cement and the extra range and the
Oh.
cooler, you bought that cooler that year and,
Yeah, the inside.
fixed up the inside, new lights and
Removed the old fireplace.
Yeah.
And just endless amounts of
We'd like to,
added on that.
All from the banquet.
all from the
Mhm.
monies. Bought a different lawnmower. and-
Yeah,
we'd like to build a new trap house right now because of the fact that we'd like to make our club handicap accessible,
clubhouse.
our clubhouse. And, but that takes,
And another thing, like for us, I think what draws a lot for us is we have the clay crushers in there now too.
Okay.
That's all kids. And that's a huge part of our gun club.
So did you say this? Speaking of the kids, the Sioux County Sportsman, I think it was you, Jake. They said it's pretty family friendly environment.
Right.
So what do they do to attract kids and families?
kids games.
The
Kid
game-
games,
kids prizes.
give stuff away. I was just to the Catfisherman's, Sioux County, or Sioux Catfisherman's Club.
Okay.
That was all about kids and veterans.
Okay.
They gave every kid in there a fishing pole
To take home.
to take home.
Okay.
That's so easy to get a kid hooked on that.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, and I'll
That
bet
makes
they-
the kids' night. Heck,
Yeah.
that'd make my night.
But
right?
then
Yeah.
the
You
kids
wanna get
brought
a
the
kid
parents.
hooked, let them win a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even that fishing pole, because these are kids from 7 to 13 years
I know
old. And then the ones from 13 to 18, they got $100 fishing pole and rod,
Legit.
rod and reel.
Yeah, this ain't
Yes.
no Dora the Explorer
no.
plastic.
This is
So
some
yeah,
good
does the
stuff.
DU
Hey,
even
thank you.
involve kids? I'm not sure.
He did not touch. He didn't touch on that a lot.
Some do and some don't.
He
Well,
said
you
They
mentioned
got that green wing, but that's not
Right.
for kids,
That's
right?
not, the green wing is, I think.
Is it correct?
The green wing I thought was for kids. The Ducks Unlimited is not.
I thought the green wing was a smaller prize.
But
amount.
what I was going to say about the catfishing deal,
Yep.
the kids brought the parents.
Kid said, "Hey, mom, hey, dad, we got to go to this, right?"
Yep.
The kids are excited about
Well,
that.
then once the kids do it one year,
Oh,
they want to do it,
They
and
won't
then,
ever forget it.
absolutely.
then right away they're going back home in class, the school the next day. Yeah, we went to the Sioux County Camp Fishermen's Club and we won and got a fishing pole.
You can do
Next
something.
to their little buddy. Yep, okay.
I'll come with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, we're taking Dad and Ma along.
Mom and Dad are spending the money, right? Interesting. Yeah. So like in Rock Valley, Ducks Unlimited, do they? Obviously not to that extent, but do they target the kids?
Ducks Unlimited.
Even the
Not
families. Even like
No.
if a husband comes, will he bring his wife?
No.
That's
No,
another
no.
thing he
The
wants.
Ducks Unlimited banquets are known for you go with you and your buddies.
Yeah.
What about so
It's
Sioux
just
County
kind of a
Sportsman?
drunk
Will
night.
you see mom and
Dad-
dad?
What'd you say?
It's kind of a drunk night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it is.
But you'll see mom and dad
Oh,
at like the
thank
Sioux
you, Tom.
County Sportsman.
Yeah,
That's what the Rock Valley Gun
It's
Club-
not just
That's
dad
the
and the
work person,
kids.
There's mom and dad and the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's changed big time because it used to be an old boarder's nest in the Rock Valley Gun. You know, it was
Yep.
known for that, for the drinking and some other stuff that wasn't so good. But now we made it a
It's
family
family-oriented.
thing,
Absolutely.
and that's really changed. Increased.
You double your attendance if everybody brings
Oh,
their
yeah.
significant other. Right?
Well, and if mom's on board with it, then you can spend more money at it too.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
So if you have mom happy at the Sioux County Sportsman's banquet and her kids are happy, they all spend more money.
See, and now also we have a ladies' table
Yep.
for prizes
Okay.
and stuff like that.
So it's like
We
pink
use-
camouflage and like that
Yeah.
kind of thing, or what do you?
Yep. Exactly.
Or
And that's ladies
something to
specific,
a
essentially.
salon somewhere.
Okay.
A massage or whatever you call them, where they do their nails and all that kind of stuff.
I do a lot of our gun club, and I'll put different, not just a ladies' table, a ladies' prize over here, a ladies' prize over there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
They walk through, they see stuff that
Oh,
might
yeah,
not even
I'll
be
put mine there.
designated toward the women. Yeah.
And if you can find something that'll go both ways, which
Better
is
yet.
difficult, but
Yeah.
that's a big plus.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One thing that the Sioux County Sportsman's Club started doing a couple years ago is they sell chances for a prize, and that money went to the Honor Flight.
Oh,
So that's your gun club.
No, that's the Sioux County Sportsman's.
So that money doesn't even benefit them per se. That's 100% to the honor flight.
Yeah, and that's a big draw. People wanna,
Well, yeah, I would hope so.
well, at that catfisherman's deal too, they had a honor the vets night, or that night.
Basically, a segment of the banquet dedicated to it.
Yep. Wow, did that go good?
Good turnout. So by targeting the vets, what is your advantage
Well,
from a business perspective?
I don't think it was targeting the vets.
Okay.
It was more, let's
Honoring them.
yes, honoring
Okay.
them for what they've done. And yeah, it just put the people in a good mood.
vets don't
Absolutely.
get near enough.
No,
credit
they
for
don't
what
get near enough credit for what they've done for us. So to honor them is a huge deal.
Absolutely.
You know.
Because if you're a veteran, would you say I would think, anyways, you're more inclined to go to that catfishing event if you hear that we're going to have a half-hour segment, or maybe not. I don't know.
Just recognizing them.
Yep,
Yeah.
just recognizing them for what they've done.
Was that recently? That
Yep. That was just a couple weeks ago. I went to that.
Where
So,
was that at?
Akron.
How was
We
that with
saw-
COVID? Nobody cares there.
Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Talking to the wrong group of people to care about that.
Mhm. We sell a lot of bait to them guys down there.
You get connected with the bait shop.
You can riot and stuff like that, and don't worry about COVID.
Hey, you don't see any riots right now for some reason. Hey,
there's there's riots in Sioux County, and
That's got to be pretty bad.
yeah, it's got to be real bad.
That's when stuff's gonna get really bad because then they're gonna start getting shot.
So, if you were to give advice to DU, like one piece of advice each of you, to increase attendance, or to better their banquet to increase attendance, what would you do?
Try and keep the money local. And I know it's out of their hands.
Yep, but that's
Make
still
it-
valuable.
Get to your board meetings and say, we wanna, let's keep half of it or
Do what we can.
do it, half of it
Let's-
locally here.
Let's
that we
just
could-
strike a deal. Like
Yeah.
strike a deal. Let
Call up corporate,
I mean,
right?
you guys can earn. We can earn twice the amount of money, but
Absolutely.
you'll still be getting the same amount if we do go 50-50.
Yeah.
Because if we bring in more money,
Bring
keep
in
half
more
of it
money,
here.
yeah.
I mean, you'll still be getting the same amount of money back at corporate.
And not
But
only from the people that the attendees, your donors are gonna be more eager to.
Absolutely.
donate too.
I'm going to
Right.
donate more money if even
that
half
money
of it's
stays
going to stay
local, yeah.
local.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get the family more involved.
Yeah,
Okay.
give it
Would you say, what do you think is more important, targeting basically the wife or the kids?
The kids.
Kids.
kids, mom will come along as the kids go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mom and the
Somebody has to watch the kids, right?
Well, and if you get the kids, sometimes that makes mom happy because then if she doesn't go, then she has an act for herself.
Yeah, that too.
Mom wins gun.
What about you as a young? Do you have any kids?
No.
He's like a year older.
Yeah, I
than
know,
us,
I
man.
know. So I figured you didn't. Well, like, what as a younger guy, what would inspire you to, like, I don't know, what would entice you to go to the banquet?
Well, I think the biggest thing is for them to, I think for everyone, but make more public ground around here. After going to South Dakota, it's not even like I said, you go on every square mile, there's probably 3 farmers that have a field that's designated for public ground that year, and then they pay them, and that just makes it that much easier to.
Who pays them? South Dakota organizations or
The
the state?
state pays them, but that's something that DU could do if their excuse is they don't have enough wetlands around here. Well, then
They could partner with a local big farmer.
right.
See, down in South Dakota there, they have, what they call that there. Once the crop is out, they sign their fields up to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They sign them up to the state to.
Prep.
Prep, yeah.
CREP. Prep.
So that when I got the crop out, anybody can go on that land.
Crop is in, you gotta stay out of there.
Yeah.
But then it's that the farmer can make it walk-in land so that people aren't driving on it, or if he doesn't care that they're driving on it, then it can be drive-in land, and he gets a little bit more money because people are driving on it, things like that. But it's kind of a win-win if you think about it, because the farmer makes money on his land again,
And you got a place, we got a
and,
place to hunt.
and we got a place to hunt, and that's an easy way to turn maybe land that we got a ton of geese around here.
So when you go to South Dakota, you're using that program?
Sometimes we have a lot of private land we can go out to, but then sometimes the geese are in that public walking stuff or in the public driving stuff. So then, I'm gonna hunt it. But it makes it a lot easier, too, for people that pheasant hunt and waterfowl hunt my age. There's no attraction for them to come to Iowa because we don't have a lot of public ground. Pheasant is better than waterfowl, but with South Dakota, even if I didn't have private ground up there, I could go up there knowing that I'm going to kill birds because I have enough public fields that I can go on without having to talk to anyone. And that's huge.
And like I say, you got the walk-in program, if you
Right.
can't find it any on the public land, you got
Right.
the walk-in program. Iowa's got a walk-in program too, but it ain't nothing like South Dakota.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, there is one.
Can't be too good.
No, that piece north of Dune, that Dave Costers put some in there.
Well, up until, 1987, when my dad sold the piece to Sioux County. Sioux County only owned 40 acres of ground.
Sioux County Sportsman.
Iowa,
No, Sioux County.
Oh wow.
Iowa is the 49th
In the county?
state.
In the county. Now they
I know
own,
it's not good.
No, it's 49, ranked 49th.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
now Sioux County owns
and if Iowa does, it's all up the lakes.
Right.
over 1,000 acres.
So does Sioux County buy in with Sioux County Sportsman? Or
Well, how it all started was I was on the Pheasants Forever board.
okay.
We got flooded that year, and we had a piece of ground right along the river that was just absolutely awful. Just because, we had a Pheasants Forever board meeting when we were talking, and the subject came up. Well, we got to find ground so that we got some hunting, because this hunting is getting to be too expensive. Everybody wants to charge. and kids can't hunt on everybody's ground anymore. So that's how that got rolling. And it was my dad's piece. My dad sold him 102 acres. And from there on, we had to get tax bases changed and all that kind of stuff just to get this ground bought. And we went through a lot of
Headaches.
bullshit.
Yeah.
What does that cost for waterfowl license?
But we
Well,
got
it depends what you do. The
got
early
it going, and
use
it's
85,
kept going.
The
So
one that I have now is 125.
Sportsman's Club
It's not
started.
bad in my opinion.
Is that
And they've
for
added-
pheasants?
Have they exploded since they started?
It's waterfowl.
And you
They've
can go
added a
anytime
lot of
waterfowl,
acres to it,
anytime you
so.
want, right?
Right, in certain zones.
Yeah. See, that's what the,
Now, is there a late goose season that you don't have to do a lottery deal?
No, everything in South Dakota you have to do a lottery except for early use. That you don't.
Oh, that's the only one.
But most of the state, you only can have like 5 days, and there's only a certain portion of the state out by the Missouri where you don't have. It's a year long. But you know,
get 2 5-day periods, right?
you know, but they just rake in the money from people coming into South Dakota to hunt. You know, Iowa could do better with pheasant hunting. I was saying, I understand we don't have great waterfowl hunting, but we don't have bad pheasant hunting. We just don't have public
Iowa
ground.
used to be the number one state for pheasants.
Pheasants.
Right.
Actually, I think it still is.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it could be yet, but
Back
It
in
could,
the
but we don't have
70s,
public ground. We don't have people that invest in
See,
it.
but most of that's all
when you
south.
have ground that's bringing $10,000-$15,000,
You can't
an acre,
afford to have
Right.
public
you
land.
can't put it
I think
into
Right.
Northwest Iowa took over as more of the hotspot for pheasants in Iowa anymore than it does
any place else.
but
I don't think so, 'cause
a lot
the
of our,
south of here, they got some wild
see,
country.
a lot of our
out there.
state money stays to the south and to
Yep.
the east.
Yeah.
Well, we found that out when we started digging in with a little bit of these grants. All this grant money is spent down by Des Moines and south of there.
Well, and look at O'Brien County, all the land out there by Sutherland.
Yep,
Yeah.
millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and they get it because we're working with that with the gun club. We want to get grants and loans, and we're finding out where all the money's going.
Yeah. Well, even if they did something, you know, like for example, how South Dakota does their walk-in for waterfowl because they got good waterfowl hunting up there. If
Yeah.
they did that with farmers' walk drainages, you know, in the middle of their fields for pheasant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they-
I mean,
Oh, it would change.
it'd change everything.
Well, look at the CRP program back in the 90s.
Right.
That was
That was huge. That was huge.
But yeah,
I mean, it just totally
That,
turned.
that
shit.
brought it back to where it was back in the 70s.
I mean, when I was growing up, and see, all the farmers had big wide fence rows.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I made a suggestion to him once. I says, take a quarter of an acre out of, get 4 quarters come together. Each farmer take a quarter of an acre out of that corner where they all meet. How many pheasants wouldn't you produce? How many fox? Everything.
Well, your waterways too, they started doing it, putting the buffer strips on
Yep,
their
put a
waterways.
lot of
You
them put
don't see
buffer.
much of it anymore.
I like to see what they do in North Dakota where they have the shelter belts.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh boy.
But like I say, for $15,000-$20,000 an acre ground, that isn't that.
Back in the 80s. when
I need a lot of money to do that.
Fence row to fence row. And you
Well,
sometimes you took-
out here they try to plant on top of the fences.
Any kind of last thoughts on DU banquets in general? How to get people in the door? Kind of any last opinions or questions you would have for Ducks Unlimited, even?
Well, we try to do ours for the gun club, but I've been on every banquet so far. Every year gets harder because of the last minute.
People are too busy.
People are too busy.
Mm-hmm.
If there's nothing else going on that night, I'll go to the banquet.
Would
And I don't know how to change that.
How-
I don't either.
how do they like monetize the banquet? Like, do you go there and you give like a free will donation? Is the only money like a raffle? Like, can you buy a table? Like, would it be beneficial? Say DU said, all right, you can spend, or like you can buy a table of 10 for like $300. Like I know like some school auctions or banquets will do it that way. Would that be like a good method? Because that way then people will, at least the money, they have the money now. It doesn't matter if the people don't come, because if they bought the table, like we don't care.
if I already have 9 people I'm going with, then I'm gonna go that night. It's
Yeah.
not if I have time, the group has already made the commitment to go.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think anybody's mentioned the games that you guys have set up before the banquet starts.
Yeah, and so the gun club, you briefly touched on that, or the Sioux County Sportsmen. They have games
Mm-hmm.
for kids specifically.
Yep.
Or most.
We got it for kids and the adults.
What are some of those? What are they? Like some of those games?
Reverse bingo.
You can shoot BB guns at Sioux County Sportsman banquet for kids. That I remember when I was a kid. That was the
Like a
greatest
carnival
thing
game, basically.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what it is?
Don't
If I were a kid, I'd love that.
Shoot the ping
Yeah.
pong ball up.
Yeah.
And you have
Plinko,
Ring toss.
Just
Ring
anything,
Ring yeah, all kinds of.
anything the kids would like.
yep. But then we
reverse
also-
bingo. We do that.
But I think at our banquet, the gun club banquet, the kids' booth is the busiest.
Really?
Well,
How
like Sioux County puts on the ring neck round.
And if I-
they have a lot of kids.
how
That's
long?
all-
How long?
That's just strictly targeted to kids.
Yeah.
How long do you banquet start getting your seats at 7:00? How long before that are you doing games?
We usually
About
start,
five,
yeah,
about
5.
the games, and
About
six-
2 hours.
5 o'clock is a happy hour and
Yeah.
I think if I
So
remember
it's
right,
5 is
last year,
meal
the year
time.
before, the kids deal brought the most money in.
7 o'clock.
And then I got another question just kind of thought of. So some of these banquets, I go to the National Wild Turkey Federation banquets back home, and they always have, every banquet I've ever been to has like a keynote speaker. For you guys, is that a
We
like that's something the kids will get bored of, right?
Yeah.
But like
I
as
think-
you guys, is that something?
No,
I think the adults will get bored of that. They want to keep the program moving.
Yep.
Okay.
As long as they can see movement in the program.
Yeah, but
Nobody
we
wants
have
to
like
stop.
kind of some sort of an MC that tells
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
We
think-
got-
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
kind of saying.
Yeah.
We
In,
have an auction.
in between time, you know.
But
Yeah.
you don't want to sit down and listen.
You want to sit down for 20 minutes.
Give
No.
give us
5
summary or
minutes here,
something
5
like
minutes
that.
here.
Yeah.
but
In between auction items, you might have or
Yeah,
lot
a
of
story.
games. Yeah.
another thing that we've done and started doing is having pictures of what the projects we have done.
Oh, yeah, the slideshow.
Slideshow or something.
Yeah,
They can show projects.
Visualization. Just like 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes of visuals or
Yeah.
something.
Here's what we're looking to do this year.
So Ducks Unlimited could say, last year our money that went to corporate went to this project. This is what
That's right.
that
Yeah.
money
Don't,
was for.
I wouldn't mention
Problem-
corporate.
problem-
Well, I know.
All that does is
Problem with that
pisses
is-
people off because they know their money ain't going
True.
to where
I
it's
know.
supposed
Or they
to.
probably put the money you put into the banquet down, fix some project in Arkansas, you know, which ain't gonna benefit anybody.
And pay
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
But in my mind, DU's got such a, you know, the good old boys getting together.
Yeah.
You know, such a big.
What do you mean by that?
Get it more family oriented.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a
Sit down and drink a couple beers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
the
that's
boys,
a target
it's-
it is.
it's
The
got a
boys' night out,
reputation
kind of
of,
like this, you know. just
Boys' night out.
Tom.
That's what it's got the
Mhm.
reputation.
They got to get rid of that reputation if they want to grow. You're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Would you agree with
Okay.
that, Jake?
Yeah,
Just from what you.
absolutely.
Yeah. The gun club, we had to do that at the gun club.
Yep,
too. I mean,
we had to
that
clean
whole-
out.
that
And that's
whole-
been successful for you.
Yes,
Oh,
it
yeah,
has. Very.
absolutely. You wouldn't believe the girls and wives and stuff
Yeah.
shooting there now. Where before, never.
You didn't see one. And if one,
How long was that transition?
that only took a couple of
5
years.
maybe.
Yeah, not even that long.
Well, not only that, but we made it a rule that
But it was a tough transition. I mean, there was a lot of resistance.
Oh, there was, yeah, a lot of resistance.
Until you're done shooting. Was a big one that we had to wrestle with, but we
It's-
made the rule, and that was the best thing we ever did, and we've
Yep.
had more people comment to us about it. Hey, we like that, we like
We-
to see that.
Lost a few members on the count, but
Yeah.
we gained way more than
Yeah,
we
we
lost.
gained way
Yeah.
more
Just
than we
thinking that
lost.
you would-
In the short run, it hurt, but in the long run, it proved to be
Yep. Better.
the right way to go. Yeah.
And we lost a little revenue over it, but that revenue we don't really need.
Yeah,
You've
before
made
the
up
gun
for it,
club
it
never
sounds
even had a woman's restroom.
Yeah.
No,
Really?
no, no,
And
no.
that
Wow.
That was,
that was terrible when we put
I
that
ain't
in.
kidding.
Really?
When that
Yes.
woman's restroom went in, what'd they lose? Half dozen? I
Oh,
was-
yeah.
not good.
For
Half
sure.
dozen,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You know why? You know why? That way the women come in and see what the men are doing.
Yep. They didn't want that.
It was, for them, it was guys' night out.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen's club.
Yes, yeah, it was a gentleman. Well, I don't know if you'd call it that.
Well, they didn't have the dances maybe, but
No, that would have been about it.
Everything else.
Yep.
So, no, like we say, make it more family orientated.
Yeah, I think, because if you got a family involved, so then you got a mother and a father, and you got the kids. And if the kids they're gonna, Mom, Dad, can we have this? Can we buy
Another
that?
thing that we
That's,
have the youth, Sioux County puts on the youth pheasant hunt.
yep,
Week before pheasant season opens up, then they've got a number of spots lined up already ahead of time to go pheasant hunting, and they take kids out, 2-3 adults with 3-4 kids and a dog, and they go pheasant hunting with them. They take it with a gun club first, and they shoot a few rounds of trap, and they go out hunting with them.
Yeah, see, the DU has no function showing the young how to hunt ducks.
Oh, absolutely not.
There's nothing, I mean, it's
Not much
just,
around here that you could.
Parents teach their kids. That's about the only thing they.
that's the only thing, there's nothing, like Sioux County has that
Oh,
rendezvous.
Yeah.
But Duck Hunting Unlimited, they have nothing to promote.
Like-
Sioux County has what now
They call it a
Ring-
rendezvous, they have that every summer.
for kids?
Yep.
So they set up tents,
And it's-
certain stations for kids to do, like shooting BB gun targets or whatever it
It's
is.
essentially a training course.
No.
no,
Yeah, it's not really training.
that's
If
fun
you hit
games.
If you hit the target, you get a
Oh,
certificate for a prize.
But it's promoting pheasant hunting.
absolutely.
Well, just make them aware of.
And then take that Saturday when they actually take the youth out hunting pheasants.
Yep.
That's promoting pheasant hunting big time. Whereas you don't see any. How do you learn around here to go duck hunting?
You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue. That's
Yeah, your dad.
Yeah, so your dad.
Your dad, but I teach myself.
We used to have, in Rock Valley, we had so many guys that were duck hunting. I mean, Doc Mom, Doc, he just lost his wife.
Yeah.
Clayton Aaron's,
Yeah,
Doc
I mean,
Simonson.
and Doc
Ken
Simonson.
Hansen.
Doc Simonson, that's what I was thinking. And Kenny Hansen. I mean, there used to be a lot of duck hunters around here. And that's how I got hooked into it.
So I think they gotta promote duck hunting.
Yeah.
But
You know, what is a banquet gonna do you any good if you can't go duck
But
hunting?
yeah, you gotta have a duck hunt.
Kind of a full circle, right? You gotta have this, and this,
If your
and
money
keep the
goes
circle
to
going.
Memphis, Tennessee, it's pretty hard to count duck hunting.
Yeah. Well, I know, like with the Ringneck Rendezvous too. It's teaching kids all about outdoors.
Yeah.
It's,
Getting them hooked on it. For
yep, getting them
years to come.
away from this stuff.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No,
It's an educational tool.
well, if you use it for that, but there's too many kids that don't use it for an educational tool. It's just a play thing.
Yeah.
Mom and dad,
I know what you're
mom
saying.
and dads use it for a babysitter.
Right.
Well, these kids don't know squat. Then.
Yeah.
New term?
Good catch.
Now you send them. My grandsons, they come down. Oh, Grandpa, we're bored. Well, go out to the creek and start digging around.
Yeah.
Best thing you can do.
Dig in the mud.
Then they come back. Yeah, Grandpa, you ought to see this. It's really cool. Oh, okay, what's that? Well, Beaver was chewing down a tree and it fell on him. Oh yeah, it was kind of cool. But if you aren't out there looking, you don't see that stuff.
Yep.
So that's what the Ringneck Rendezvous does too. I'm the trap guy at the Ringneck Rendezvous.
Okay.
And the kids all come and they look at them traps and oh man, how does this work? How's that work?
Finger in here.
Well, you can buy them itty bitty little traps and they.
Have you? Because you're with Ducks Unlimited in Rock Valley. Have they ever come together as a greater Northwest Iowa Ducks Unlimited for an event like that? You think that anybody would be interested in that? Because Sioux Center Ducks Unlimited is probably too small to host an event like that.
Yeah.
But if you get with
Right.
Sheldon,
Yeah.
Rock Valley, Sioux Center,
Problem with
I don't know if maybe Rock
it
Rapids.
is changing in the DU, but DU had a problem, same problem the gun club had. They had too many drunks on it.
Yep.
is that a problem in Rock Valley
It used.
at the
Yeah.
banquet? At the banquet, or is that less of one?
See,
It's
that-
less of one now.
And that's what happened at Sioux County Sportsman's Banquet.
Okay.
They got in trouble with here because they got two guys that got plastered pretty hard and got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And it
That
could-
wrecks-
it could have filtered down to them, but it didn't. but it made them aware, said, hey, no drinking.
Nope.
So, and then they could go to Dordt, of course, they can have.
That, it wrecks it for so many people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so you can have fun without alcohol too.
Oh, yeah.
And since then, their attendance has gone way up.
Do they have any alcohol at Sioux County Sportsman?
No.
None.
Because they got it at North College, and North College will not allow any.
Oh, they hosted at the rec center?
Yeah. we do it in spring
Okay.
break. And
Yeah,
North
Dort's
College
a dry
won't allow them to
campus.
have any alcohol.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they did that.
Not that we have anything, all of us drink a few
Oh,
beers
yeah.
now and then, but
No, there's nothing
Yeah,
wrong
If
with
it's out
that,
of
but
hand, it-
yeah, it gets out of hand.
you gotta know how to,
Handle it.
I mean, the
Handle it.
wrong guy has too many, or has one too many, and then
Mhm.
everything
Ruins your
everything's
reputation,
ruined,
absolutely.
cause they all hear about that.
you know? Yeah.
Especially in Sioux County. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yep.
No.
Anyway,
Why? If you guys have any other things, that's all we have.
Well, we hope we answered your questions.
Yeah.
I think it was more than
Great.
beneficial.
A lot more answers than I was expecting. So.
Yeah.
Pretty insightful stuff, actually. So.